Okay, let us start with today's class. That is, in today's session, we are going to discuss about the one of the method of evaluation of the pavement. That is, maintenance and evaluation of the pavement by the different methods are there. So in the previous videos, we have already discussed the Benkelman beam method. So in the today's class, so let us move for the another technique, that is falling weight deflectometer technique. So this is one of the tests we have conducted in order to determine the whatever the stability of the pavement and in order to decide the thickness of the overlay. So let us start with today's class. You can observe in the figure whatever the instrument you are observing. So this is what the falling weight deflectometer. This has been attached to the vehicle and it can be moved from one place to another place. That is the point at which we need to find out the deflection. So let us start with what do you mean by this falling weight deflectometer and how you are going to take the deflection values by using this method. Yes, is it clear? Am I audible, right? Screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Visible, ma'am.
Okay. So now you can observe what do you mean by this FWD. So FWD is nothing but what? So it is falling weight deflection or the falling weight deflectometer. So this is a non-destructive impulse loading device in which the transit load is applied. So means this is the non-destructive impulse loading device. We are applying the transit load here on the pavement and deflected shape of the pavement surface is measured. It's one of the non-destructive impulse loading device in which we are applying the transit load and we are determining what is the deflected shape of the pavement is measured using this falling weight deflectometer. The main aim is to evaluate the structural condition of the pavement here. So what is the structural condition and to estimate the thickness of the overlay. So now you already aware about what you mean by the overlay. So in order to strengthening the pavement, if it is deteriorated, if the performance of the pavement is less, so then we have to strengthen the pavement by providing the overlay. So in order to decide the thickness of the overlay, we need to perform this test. So same as the Benkelman beam test. So this is also another method. So we are having the standard code for this, that is IRC 115/2014 is the code used to perform this test. The entire procedure is given and some of the specifications related to the falling weight deflectometer is given in the respective code. So whatever the code I have shown here, that is IRC 115/2014. So why we are going to prefer this falling weight deflectometer so instead of Benkelman beam? So means we are having some of the comparison between FWD and BBD. So compared to the Benkelman beam, so if you are recall the Benkelman beam means what? We are having the truck load there and we need the Benkelman beam Benkelman beam is required and manually we have to enter the readings and we have to calculate here. But in case of this FWD, we are having the computerized system is there. The whatever the load we are applying, so what is the response for that load? So that has been stored. So that is some devices are there. So in order to store the data, so we can store the entire values directly in the laptops using some sensor systems. So this deflectometer, which is having closely simulates the duration and amplitude of the load and produces the moving vehicle. So means whenever the load is applied, so because of this load, so whatever the deflection wave we are observing, so because of the loading, so that deflection wave has been recorded using some of the geophones that has been connected to the deflectometer. So just I will show you how actually the test procedure is carrying out. And compared to this Winkelmann beam method, so this is one of the quick and accurate testing method. So an entire test can be performed and it can be run from the laptop itself. So that has been fixed inside the car. So using the laptop only we can analyze or we can collect the entire data here. So in the falling weight deflectometer. So and it is consisting of, you can observe the different pictures which is showing the falling weight deflectometer here. So this is the backward portion. So means you can observe this is entire the falling weight deflectometer and it is attached with the vehicle. You can observe vehicle is there and we can move the entire system at which we need to find out the deflection. So you can observe here there is a movement of the entire system from one point to another point. So which is having a boom. So boom is nothing but there is an extension is there and it is connected with a number of geophones. It may be 6 geophones, it may be 7 or it may be the 9 geophones. So based on the requirement we are having the number of geophones there. So using the geophones we are taking the values and the entire loading system is there which is connected with the jack. So using that we are going to find out the values. So and the maximum load we are applying through this is what the loading system, what you are observing. The maximum load is applied is 40 kilonewton. So if it is 2-lane road, so then the 40 kilonewton is the maximum load. So whatever the specifications as per the IRC that we can see in the next slides. So you can observe here the whatever the figure is given. The main principle of the pavement design here, that is using FWD. So it is working based on the principle that you can observe the figure, the mass of the weights. So it is 80 kilonewton weight, it is specified as per the specification, is dropped from the predetermined height. So that is whatever the height of the fall, that also we need to decide. And so whatever the load we are applying, so this load is dropped on the springs. So you can observe in the figure. So these are all the springs below which the loading plate is there. The weight is applied. So this is what the weight and which is falling from the predefined height. The corresponding peak load and peak vertical surface deflection at different radial locations are measured. You can observe. So here the geophones are there, sensors. So you can observe it may be 6 or it may be 7 or 9 as per the requirement. So there are different geophones we have fixed here. And whatever the deflections you are observing, D0, D1, D2 are the corresponding deflection at some radial distances. How it has been obtained? So through the help of these geophones. So what is the main principle? The working principle of falling weight deflectometer is some weight. So that is maybe 40 kilonewton for 2 lanes and it is 80 kilonewton for the single lane. So based on the requirement, the weight is dropped from the predetermined height and the series of springs are to be placed over the testing plate and the corresponding deflection can be measured using the geophones or a sensors or fixed at some radial distances. So this is what the working principle of falling weight deflectometer. Yes, is it clear? Are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can observe here, these are all the specifications given by IRC, that is IRC 115/2014 for the FWD test. So means whatever the load applying specimen is there, or the plate diameter through which we are applying the load on the pavement, that diameter of the plate is 300 to 450 mm. These are all the specifications. And mass, that is single mass, we are not having at the different points, we are applying the load at the particular point. And falling weight mass is, it is 50 to 350 kgs. And height of fall, as we have discussed, it is fallen from the predetermined height, so that is height of fall is 10 to 600 mm. So from 10 to 600 mm we need to fall the weight of 40 kilonewton. So what is the standard weight here? The load, the target load is 40 kilonewton, and the number of deflections are 6 to 9, and we are using the sensors as a geophones, and the deflection is having an accuracy of plus or minus 2%. So these are all the specifications of FWD test given by the IRC recommendations. So, and as we are talking about the geophones, so at what distance we have to place the geophones or sensors? That is, deflection sensors are placed on the surface of the pavement at different radial distances along the longitudinal direction. So if suppose if we are using the 7 number of sensors, so then we can fix the sensor at these intervals. One is 0, 300, 600, 900, 1200 and 1500 and 1800. So for these distances we have to fix the 7 number of sensors, radial distances from the point of loading. Sometimes we can provide this radial distance also, and if you are using the 6 sensor, so this is what the radial distances. So means usually, so these are all the radial distances at which we are going to fix the number of geophones or the deflection sensors in order to determine the deflection. So you can observe here, this is what the loading cell jack is there. So because we should not allow the weight of the vehicle is fallen on the pavement surface. So the whatever the prescribed weight is there, 40 kilonewton, so that only applied on the surface of the pavement. So therefore the hydraulic jacks are provided, and we can increase or we can lift the loading system with a prescribed height of fall, and then we can leave this. So this is what the entire loading cell that has been attached in the falling weight deflectometer. So you can observe the geophones are there here. So the number of geophones here, 6 geophones are there. This is 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So based on the requirements, the number of geophones have been fixed here. So and these are all the some calibration data. So what are all the data we are taking? The static calibration and load repetition values and absolute calibration deflection. So all the data we are obtaining by the computer itself. So there is a the system is there through which we are going to take the data for the designing of the overlay. So and before going to start the evaluation, so means before going to start with a falling weight deflectometer test, so we need to take the some of the pavement data, that is the collection of the data that survey has to be conducted. So the main 2 surveys we need to do before conduction of the test is the historical data about the pavement and the pavement condition, the existing pavement condition, and the historical data. So historical data means what? Here we are identifying the reason for the different distress. So why there is a failure in the pavement, so why there is a the deformations, why there is a undulations. So we are going to find out the reason for the different distresses caused in the pavement surface. And pavement condition, by the visual observation we are going to find out what is the status of the cracking and the ruts formation and other distortions. So if it is any the undulations, if it is present in the pavement surface, then we are going to find out by this pavement condition survey. The historical data and pavement condition survey has to be conducted before going to conduct the falling weight deflectometer test. So as I explained, in this historical data, we are going to find out the different distresses and establishing the cause of distress, why it has been formed, and is there any deficiency in the design or because of the poor material. That is, we are finding out the reason why there is a deformation, why there is a formation of distress. So whether it is deficiency of the design or poor material or the improper construction. So what is the proper design, and whether it may be related to the water table or poor drainage condition. So what is the main reason for the distress that has been found out under the heading of historical data collection. So and pavement condition survey, as I told you, visual inspection has been carried out, and so the formation of the cracks, ruttings, that has been determined. So why it is required? So this is required to decide the condition of the pavement. So while discussing about the Benkelman beam method, we have discussed poor condition, fair and good condition of the road. So based on that, we need to decide the point of the test. So where we need to conduct the test. So number of points that we need to decide based on the condition of the road. So in order to decide that condition of the road, we required this survey. So you can observe here, this is what the specification as per the IRC guidelines we have already discussed while discussing the Benkelman beam method. So if the cracks are less than 3 mm, so then if it is covers the 5% of the total area, so then we can say the road is in good condition. So and cracks, if it is less than 3 mm and it is covers 5 to 20% of the total area, then we can call it as fair. And more crackings and ruts are observed on the road surface, then we can call it as it is in the poor condition. So based on the condition of the road, we need to decide the point, that is we have to mark the point at which we need to find out the deflections. So if it is a poor condition, so then we have to take the readings at some intervals, that is very less intervals along the zigzag path. So if it is a 2 lane, and the interval at which we need to conduct the test is very less. So and based on the fair, and if it is good condition, then it is interval is more. So therefore, in order to decide the point at which we need to find out the test, we need to perform the survey. So and you can observe a table is provided here. So this is what, based on the type of the carriageway, some of the schemes has been recommended. So means where we need to measure the deflection. So you can observe, just I will explain the first row. If single lane two-way traffic is there, then we have to measure the deflection along both outer and wheel paths. So you have to measure the deflection along the wheel path, and at what distances, spacing of the test. So it has been prescribed here, that is 60 mm, so 60 meter, 130 meter, 500 meter. So based on the condition of the road. So this is what the table which will give the guidelines for selection of the deflection measurement, at which point we need to find out the deflection. So this is similarly you can observe here for 2-lane single carriage, 4-lane single carriage and divided carriageway. The specifications are given as per the type of the road. So means where we have to measure the deflection, outer wheel path, outer lines, and the distance at which we need to measure, that is interval in between the points. So now we can discuss how actually the test has been conducted. Yes, are you following? Am I audible, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So you can observe some of the steps I have listed here. So actually how the test has been conducted. The first thing is you have to mark the test points on the center of the road, center of the loading plate. So you have to mark the different points on the road surface and you have to place the loading frame entire falling weight deflectometer at the center of the point. Then the longitudinal and transverse slope, so means we know that the slope of the pavement. So while conducting the test at that point, so whatever the longitudinal and transverse slope we are observing, that should not be more than 10% of the 10% in the test location. So means whatever the slope we have provided for the road surface, both longitudinal and transverse slope should not be more than the 10% where we are conducting the test. So that is what the second point. So then what we have to do, the entire loading frame, just I will show you the schematic representation, entire loading frame is lowered. So means you have to apply the load with the help of the circular loaded plate. So I have to lower the entire loading frame and geophones are placed. So this is what the loading frame means. So the number of geophones are at the different distances. You have to lower this entire loading frame such that all the geophones should comes in contact with the pavement surface. So as we have observed in the previous slides, so you can observe. So you can observe here. So how to lower the entire. So here the front we are having the loading frame is there, such that all the geophones should comes in contact with the pavement surface. That is what the third step. So then what we have to do, rise the mass. So mass is nothing but the how much load you have to apply. So you have to rise that with a predetermined height. That is what we have observed, 100 to 300 meter as per the IRC specification. You have to rise the entire loading, that is mass, with that predetermined height and fix the target of 40 kilonewton. So just you have to fix the target as 40 kilonewton. So after fixing that 40 kilonewton, you have to drop the entire load. So and after dropping, so you have to determine the deflection through the computer. So whatever the acquisition system we are having, through that the entire deflection at different intervals has been recorded, as we have observed in the schematic representation. You can see here. See here, D0, D1, D2, D3 are the corresponding deflections has been observed on the different radial distances. So that is what the next step. So after that what you have to do, so you have to take the temperature. So as we know that while designing the overlay, we are applying the corrections, correction for temperature and correction for the climatic changes. So therefore we need the temperature also, air temperature and pavement temperature. I have already explained how to take the pavement temperature. So I have to drill a hole of 40 mm depth and fill it with the glycerol and place the thermometer, and you have to record the temperature, corresponding temperature. So after taking all these values, now you have to rise the geophones, entire geophone frame and the loading plate, and move to the next location. And there is the limitation for this test. So we should not conduct the test whenever the temperature of the pavement is more than 45 degrees Celsius. So why? Because we have already discussed why there is a variation in the temperature. Means if the temperature increases in case of flexible pavement, so then fluidity of the surface gets increases. Therefore we can observe the maximum deflection. So therefore, if there is a maximum temperature is there more than 45 degree, then it is not preferred to conduct this falling weight deflectometer test. Clear? So just you have to mark the points, and whatever the slope of the pavement is there, it should not be more than the 10%, and lower the entire loading frame such that the geophone should be touches the top surface of the pavement. So after that, raise the mass through the predetermined height and apply the target load of 40 kilonewton. So then you have to measure the deflection, drop the entire weight and measure the deflection using the geophones through the computer, whatever the data acquisition system is there. Using that, automatically the values are been recorded, and you have to take the air temperature and the pavement temperature, and if the pavement temperature is more than 45 degrees Celsius, then you should not take the, or you should not conduct the experiment. So you can observe this figure, you can understand clearly how the loading has been occurred and how the readings has been recorded. So this is what the schematic representation. So number of geophones, it may be forward direction of the loading system, or it may be the backward direction of the loading system. We can provide the geophones. So you can observe D1 is here, D0 and D2, D3, D4. So at the different radial distances, the geophones are there, and this is the entire loading frame is there. Test plate is provided, and we are applying the load. So by predetermined height, the weight is falling on the road surface. So because of the load, there may be a deflection waves has been created here, that has been recorded in the geophones. So you can observe in second figure. So this is what the entire loading system and electronic control box is there. It is connected with a laptop, and there is a deflection system, how the deflection we can observe. So that you can observe in the figure, and there is a battery is there. So because this has to be moved from one point to another point, so therefore the battery system is there, and this is what the vehicle which is used to carry the entire falling weight deflectometer, the testing system. So the entire falling weight deflectometer has been carried by this vehicle. So after taking of the reading, so this deflection you have to take and corresponding temperature you have to take. Then you have to move for the next point. Again you have to apply the load 40 kilonewton, and 3 times you have to fall. So means the load is applied, that is first you have to leave the load, and second time, third time. So like that 3 times you have to apply the load. The average of 3 should be taken. So whenever you are leaving the loading system, there is a waves has been created, deflection waves has been created on the road surface. You can observe here. So here the points has been marked on the road surface, and this is what the circular loaded area, that is a circular test plate, that is 300 diameter, what we have discussed, and the entire loading system has been provided. So and why it is required to determine the pavement thickness layer means, so to estimate the remaining life of the pavement. So means we need to evaluate the pavement surface and the stability. So in order to decide what is the remaining life of the pavement, and in order to decide the overlay requirement, what is the thickness of the overlay is required. So in order to collect all this data, we need to determine the pavement thickness, that is the existing pavement thickness, and it is find out using the historical data and by excavating the pits also, and ground penetration radar surveys. Using the different surveys, we need to conduct, or we need to take the existing pavement thickness here. So some of the analysis data, so this is not required. Actually the entire acquisition system will give you the processing data and the identification of homogeneous subsections. So whatever the output you are observing, so as in your StatPro and ETABS, whatever the output file you are getting, so like that only we are getting the entire output file, which is consisting of the different information which is related with the test. So this is all whatever the data which has been stored. So the test data, what all the requirement are there, that is design traffic is required, elastic modulus and critical strain at the different layers and performance criteria. So all the data we can get using this falling weight deflectometer, and it is stored in the acquisition system. So now after that, the some of the steps you need to follow, that is to design the overlay. So what all that steps you need to follow means, so I have to measure the surface deflection. So means after the taking the FWD data, so in order to design the overlay, so how we need to design. So some of the steps you need to consider. The first thing is you have to measure the deflections of the homogeneous surface pavement, that is deflection, what is the maximum deflection using this test. So means I am talking about design of overlay after collecting the FWD data. So that is deflection is measured by falling weight deflectometer, and the corresponding temperature, that is 40 kilonewton, what is the deflection, that value has been taken, and we have to collect the information to the type of and thickness of the layer and modulus of elasticity of the different layers that has been collected, and the correction for the temperature and the seasonal variation has been applied. So we have already discussed the numerical which is related to the design of overlay. So in that we are applying the temperature as well as the seasonal correction also. So that correction is applied as per the IRC guidelines. So then you have to find out the critical strains using the software, and the strain value is obtained, whatever the strain we are obtaining, that is used to estimate the remaining life of the road or a pavement. So what is the fatigue condition, what are the rutting formations. So based on the strain value we need to find out what is the remaining life and what is the thickness of the overlay it is required. So how we are going to analyze the combination of existing pavement and overlay. So means existing pavement is here and overlay is here. Entire we are considering it as a four lane system. By considering it as a 4-lane system, we are going to find out what is the rutting criteria, and based on that the design traffic we are deciding the thickness of the overlay. So this is how we are going to perform the falling weight deflectometer test. So what we can conclude by comparing with the falling weight deflectometer and Benkelman beam test means, so compared to this Benkelman beam test, falling weight deflectometer is easy, and we can determine the elastic modulus of the pavement layers. So in BBD we are not getting the elastic modulus of the different layers, but using this falling weight deflectometer we can get the elastic modulus of the different layers, and using those elastic modulus we can decide the overlay requirement. So for estimation of the life of the pavement, that is existing pavement, so what is the lifespan and what is the required overlay, that can be easily determined using the falling weight deflectometer compared to the Benkelman beam method. So this is what the entire procedure, how we are going to conduct the falling weight deflectometer test. Yes, is it clear? You can observe the figure, then you can have an idea. So means how they are going to conduct the test. The schematic representation you can observe, and the overlay design. So based on the IRC specifications we need to design the overlay. Yes, is it clear with this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you may get the some theory question, that is the procedure they may ask, and sometimes there is a problem. Actually the problems are not there based on this FWD. So let us see the question papers. If it is provided, then we can go for the numericals also. So okay, this is about falling weight deflectometer. So let